Kai sovereignty to me is pretty much controlling the food that you ingest.
Come on, big girl. That's us. Hello, mate.
Knowing where it comes from, knowing what that kai had to nourish itself so that you can nourish yourself from it. So that's why our whānau for generations have continued to practice mahika kai, harvesting food from the natural environment, from gathering the kūtai, the watercress, fishing, white bathing, hunting, and then of course the mara kai, where you grow your food and how you grow it and what fertilizers and things.
Ooh.
And of course, all of these things, I'm trying to learn these skills as I go. So I think there are some whānau that are shifting into understanding what kai they eat for their tinana, whether it's for themselves or for their tamariki. And for others, it's about not being reliant on supermarkets and society.
Ko kahu raki mahu I ka tōku I koa, ko aoraki ta mau ka ariki. I'm a proud Southern Māori boy through and through.
Kia ora anō. Hey, yeah.
My tipuna traversed the mountains, rivers and lakes of Te Waipounamu for hundreds of years.
This bit's pretty cool.
Wait till we get in there.
Their footsteps are etched into this landscape, and I've made it my life's mission to follow them. With my whānau, we're travelling all over this whenua in search of the stories.
This is our kaupapa. Welcome to jump on our waka.
And people who make it special.
Eventually we want to be as self-sufficient as possible.
No, well, it's good to see more whānau out here driving for that. Come with us on our journey as we explore Te Waka o Aoraki. My background is in guiding and in the kaitiaki taiao space. So today's mish is to visit my whanauka from Otago, Tumai Cassidy.
Nau mai, ki te pā o te whakaraupuka. Wenei te kāinga o mātou tīpuna. Ngā rā o mua, tai noa ki tēnei wā.
Since our earliest tipuna set foot on Te Waipounamu, Māori have always understood the best way to live on this harsh land. But as more people settled here with different ways of looking at the natural world, our ancestral way of living was threatened.
So in the background we can hear a Kahu and a Taieri, and they're screeching. Usually it's a sign that bad weather's coming. You can actually see the rain rolling in from those hills over there. Some of our tohu tell us what the environment is doing. There was a number of lakes that were drained in the 1920s. Pretty much devastated our communities out here. Once those lakes dried up, so too did our kai inanga, all of those kai dried up as well, and so our people were forced to move away.
This whenua is known as Te Nohoaka o Tukiouau, or Sinclair's wetland in Te Reo Pākehā.
Hara mai. Wai atu ki uncle.
And it's a place where some great mahi is being done in restoring the land to its former glory.
This whenua here was returned to us in our settlement in compensation for the loss of some of our mahinga kai in this area. This wetlands here, the part of it that we own is about 315 hectares, and it sits within a wider wetland complex which is about 3,000 hectares.
Wow.
And so, yeah, a pretty huge taonga and a pretty huge resource.
True, nursery and all. Awesome.
Everything here is grown from seed collected by Tumai and his whānau from this area. It's all a part of an operation to make a sustainable ecosystem and support this whenua back to health.
So we've been
so
just testing
onto
out different ways to reduce our dependence on plastic pots. You know, there's no shortage of harakeke around here.
No.
So
So do you put that straight in?
Yeah, you just put a jack straight in the ground. We just tested out some ideas, and yeah, so far it seems to work. So and it's been most successful with some of our sort of wetland plants. You can kind of just see the roots starting to poke out. We literally, for these ones in the swamp, we just place it on the ground. We don't even dig it in, and the roots just come down and just starts growing from there. Yeah.
Hoki mai!
Tā mātou mahi konei, he whakarauara I te whenua. Ko roa nei, tēnei whenua I tāmi hiana e tauiwi. Ko roa nei, mātou hoki o Otago, ko noho wehe. Nā reira, he āhuatanga o te whakarauara I te whenua, engari anō, o mātou mahi he whakarauara hoki I te tangata. Ko taku awata tēnei whenua, tira te rahinga o tā mātou takiwā, kia kite, kia rongo, tā mātou reo, o mātou tikanga, e ora nei ki runga I te whenua. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of work with the surrounding catchment and some of our landowners, just trying to plant up all the creeks and stuff that flow into our repo. What we're really hoping to achieve is to make our neighbours aware of the obligations and duties to our taiao and trying to spread those values and that same passion for the land.
Oh, mahi pai!
And for us, really, it's about putting a pau in the ground. And we're saying this is who we are, this is our kaupapa. Welcome to jump on our waka. Not enjoying the ride, eh?
As we've been on this haereka around Te Waipounamu, meeting whānau, working on the land, one of the things that comes up time and time again is concerns around food and health.
The track's a bit messy at the moment, we're getting it sorted out.
It's one of the reasons mahi kakai and understanding how to feed ourselves is so important.
Ane. You know, this mahi that we do, it's all around food sovereignty, really, at the end of the day. A lot of our whānau rely on supermarkets, especially in town, for mostly all of their kai. And when we look at the health of our people today, our people are dying earlier and those kinds of things. And so places like here, if we do our job properly, they'll return to being those main sources of healthy kai for our people. And so that's part of the driver, I guess. Te awa, yeah. All right, so kia whaironga of our awa today, inside our pā. Kia ora. How do I do this? We probably said a hinaki.
What's the target species today?
Ideally, we'd like for the tunas to be awake and active this time of the year. They're just starting to come out of their winter slumber. Oh, kia ora. Tuna, highly important taonga e mahi kakai for us here, this takiwā. But unfortunately, they're facing a lot of pressures. So in the past, it was, commercial eeling, cleaning out all of our waterways, taking all the bigger eels.
Hey, higher the winds, the more tuna, eh, cuz?
So we're left with a lot of smaller sort of tuna in our rivers and lakes. Our hope is to grow those numbers, grow the quality. Oh, just like that, eh? So that our mokopuna can have a sustainable resource going forwards. The idea is to just
Show us the technique.
Haven't done this in a while. And when it comes to these kind of practices, you actually have to put in the mahi and you actually have to go and do it. With the internet and all of those things, knowledge is widely accessible, but it's how do you apply it? Just tie that on. And I think we have to take knowledge from the past and make it relevant to today. And then what we do today, it has to be relevant for our future generations and the challenges that they will face as well. Sweet. Yeah, so that's what most of the wider reefs kind of looks like. Our wetlands is partially tidal, over 20 k's from the coast here.
Damn.
And the tide comes all the way in, yeah.
Part of supporting the health of this whenua is understanding the geographical features that make it unique.
Out on here, we're the lowest geographical point in New Zealand on land. The lowest point is like 2.4 metres below sea level, and the Dunedin airport is 1.8 metres below sea level.
Get much? Catch anything on it?
Yeah. Mostly mice and rats. Yeah, so we have about 400 or so traps throughout our swamp, just hoping to catch some of those introduced rats, stoats, ferrets, muscelids, those kind of things. Haven't caught anything today, thankfully.
Obviously, you've got multiple skills and you could probably do anything you wanted to do, but why this and what makes this unique for you?
I think with this kind of mahi, we get to express ourselves in the way that we want to express ourselves and practice those things that we want to practice rather than, following someone else's model of how to look after your land. And, when we look at the abundance of not only species but of kai that our ancestors were able to maintain on their landscape, in fact, it was more abundant back then than it is now. And so the more we can bring back those practices and those ways of managing our landscapes, I think the better off our people are going to be.
And the kaupapa extends beyond just supporting the ecosystem. It means making the most of all of Papa Tuanuku's offerings.
Bro, how's it going? Holy, that's a lot of oil, eh? I've got some jars. Yeah. Bring some jars tomorrow, bro. Yeah, unfortunately, a couple of days ago, we had a tohora, a whale, wash up on our coast. And so part of our tikanga around exercising our rangatiratanga to utilise and harvest parts of that tohora and give it another life.
Mostly connective tissue, real hard. So.
Today, my whanaunga, Oliver, is just rendering down some of that hinu and extract that oil. Can be used as a rongoa medicine, and also used with our whakairo, preserving some of those timbers, those kind of things. And there's lots of uses for it, even creating traditional paints, those kinds of things. And it's really just about giving our people that experience to practice and revive those tikanga and processes of our old people.
And reconnecting with that knowledge means making the choice to be good tipuna ourselves. In a world where just surviving day to day is becoming more difficult, helping whānau rebuild our tīkaka so that our next generation can thrive.
I think the future of mahinga kai is that it returns onto the table at home, onto the tables at our marae, to feed our manuhiri, to feed our whānau, and that it no longer becomes something that we just look at or remember, but is something that we are actively engaged with. Sweet. Yeah. It's really about food security and food sovereignty, but also exercising the authority and the kaitiakitanga that our ancestors exercised in the way that they looked after our environment. And I guess it's our obligation to pick that mahi up and continue it forward here.
Ka mihi nunu kia koe, I tō manaaki, your pūrākau. Yeah, bro, and just massive shout out to you and your whānau and the mahi that you're doing here, because I believe you're definitely achieving what you want, and I think the future generations will thrive because of the mahi that you do here. So huge mihi to you, brother. Cheer.
Chamakas for me. Today we're travelling in the deep south to a little town called Ōtapiri, about 45 minutes north of Invercargill, to meet up with some whānau who are digging their way out of the cost of living crisis.
So we're going to catch up with my first cousin, Miguel Fernandez. He's living with his son and his wife, trying to live that sustainable life and become pretty much completely sustainable and not be reliant on anyone. They carry, some of the most beautiful ahua that I've felt. They're just a beautiful whānau and just happen to align with a lot of our own whakaaro as a whānau too.
I'll show you over here first. Come over here. You can get a better layout of the land.
This property is just 6 acres, but they've got big plans to make it work for them.
Grabbed all that because it was all going to scrap, you know?
Yeah, nice.
And now I'll use it for a portable milking station.
And that's something you want to have here, eh? Is have a couple of cows that you can milk yourself and
Definitely.
have milk, eh?
Definitely.
The road to self-sufficiency is paved with broken stuff, so the bro has developed some pretty mean practical skills along the journey.
This forklift was actually getting scrapped, so I pretty much got it for scrap value and fixed it.
And with a property like this, you need to be a bit of a jack of all trades.
This is where all the work gets done.
Now you've got a plethora of skills to be able to hand down to your Ōtapiri.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
You know, your metal fabricating, your welding, you obviously do a bit of wood stuff.
Yeah.
Do a bit of building.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I went to Melbourne one off season, and I got a job at the ARB factory.
Yeah.
They were looking for welders there, and I said, oh, yeah, I'm a welder. Oh, I'm a welder. Of course I'm a welder. You know? I started welding, and I was destroying all the steel, eh? Like I was blowing holes through it, and it was just like making a mess. And I was thinking, oh, this guy's going to sack me, you know, sooner or later. The foreman would come around and go, how you going? Oh, yeah, no, not too bad. He goes, oh, no, you'll be right. Keep going, you'll get it. And then I just thought, I just stopped, down tools, and I went into one of the other welding bays.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I watched this guy for about 2 hours, what he was doing.
Yeah.
And the penny dropped of what I was doing wrong.
Right.
And then I was away. And then learning that skill, you realise, oh, I should learn how to use a lathe. I should learn how to use a milling machine, you know, because it all works together. I just followed people on YouTube and watched how they built stuff and thought, oh, I want to learn how to do that. And just basically trial and error, you know what I mean? Turn it all the way that way. All the way.
And we might need to put some of those skills to the test right now, because on the way here, my faithful waka was not feeling these country roads.
Yeah, so on our journey, you know, just on the last half hour, getting here to the Cuzzies, it was making a bit of a grinding noise just here on the right wheel. And the Cuzzy being onto it, I think may have narrowed down the problem. We think it's the 4-wheel drive locking hub trying to engage as we're driving.
Put that one in there. That's it. You did it. Good work.
So we're going to put a camera down there, mount it, go for a drive, and then from there we can figure out a plan.
This is my life, you know what I mean? Something comes up, something gets broken. Now I've got to figure out how to fix it, you know? Back on YouTube. Looks like it's engaged already.
That spinning thing's not supposed to be spinning. That's the 4-wheel drive. So that locks in when we lock it on and turn 4-wheel drive on.
Problem identified, but the solution might have to go into the too hard kete for now.
Might just give this pot a clean out and see if this is good enough, eh?
It's almost lunchtime,
Yep, that's great.
and there's no Uber Eats out these ways.
Does it fit on top of this? Maybe we could cut that down.
Oh, yep.
And got the fire in there and sit that on top.
On top.
Okay, let's do that.
Sweet.
I'll grab a trolley.
For the bro Miguel and his whānau, the dream of living off the whenua is about one thing: being in charge of their food and health.
What's that?
It's a titi.
Look at all that hinu, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We want to keep that, eh?
Yep, we've been here for 1.5 years now.
One for the pot.
Yep, ready. It was always on the back burner to want to eat well.
Oh, yeah.
It sort of came about because of health issues, really. In my family, there's been a lot of cancer. Oh, these chickens are probably this actually. A younger brother who went through chemotherapy, and that was pretty brutal back in the early 90s. And then another sister in the late 90s who had cancer. There's a saying, food is your medicine. It was like a slow realisation, you know, if you really want good health, you need to know where your food's coming from And during the COVID era, it made me realise just how vulnerable we are. And then if we don't take control of our own food as much as possible, what situation are we in, you know?
How long have you had them?
My friend gave me that rooster. He's a Sicilian buttercup. He's very beautiful. His name is Signore, which is Italian for gentleman. Moving here for our family, for me it's full circle from, you know, growing up on a farm. And yeah, it's like a dream come true. This is my little native nursery here. So a lot of these natives I've started from seed myself.
Oh, wow.
In the autumn, you just go for a bushwalk and pick everything you see and then just pot it all up with some seed mix.
And the idea is just to keep this on the rotation and just start pumping native food here?
Yeah, well, we need more shelter everywhere. And the shelter I want to have is like multi-purpose, so it's beautiful. Natives also can use it like for chicken feed, so harakeke seeds and things like that. You can also feed to your chickens, and mostly for wind shelter everywhere, and it's a little more beautiful than like the monoculture. So all these garden beds, everything you see here, I chipped that all out by hand. So spade.
Yeah, you dug
When
all
we-
this out with a spade.
Yeah, all of this and all of that along there.
It's early days on this property yet, but I've got big plans to turn this whenua into their own idea of paradise.
So they're all little, but I started planting as soon as I got here because obviously trees are the ones that take the longest to grow. Well, like we're planting seeds at the moment, so we're starting from the beginning, so we know for as long as it took for us to get this place that it would take about that amount of time for it to come to fruition. So it's probably going to be 15 or 20 years before it's how we want it to be, but we are more than happy to put in the work and to make it, you know, our own.
You all right, son?
Eventually we want to be as self-sufficient as possible. So producing as much of our own food, and then eventually to be off-grid and have all our own water supply. You're always going to be reliant to some extent on, you know, on the outside world, but as much as possible to, yeah, rely on ourselves for what we need.
I know, well, it's good to see more whānau out here, you know, striving for that, striving for, you know, that connectedness to the land and to each other, and, you know, nurturing yourself, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's the kind of great leap backwards many of us are taking now. Finding a way to live on the whenua with the whenua. And it's all driven by our tamariki.
I always had other projects going on and was always like ambitious about other jobs. But ever since we had Samuel, my whole outlook is just like, it's all family. Everything revolves around providing for them. The biggest thing that gives me the most satisfaction is being able to provide for my family. Good. Really good, actually. That's what it really is. Like, I get so much satisfaction from making sure everyone's fed and happy and warm and have their needs met.
Watch out!
Don't crash in the forklift. There's so much opportunity here for us to develop this so that we can thrive here and have generations of us thrive here. And that's what I'm aiming for, I'm not just looking at us, I'm looking at generations down the track that are gonna, you know, do well off this property. You all right?
Yeah.
Let's go, hold on.
Ko te matua tama